Welcome, one and all. You're listening to What on Earth is Happening here on the Oracle Broadcasting Radio Network. I'm your host, Mark Passio. My website, whatonearthishappening.com. The network's website, of course, oraclebroadcasting.com. Today is Sunday, June 24th, 2012. The show is live every Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m. East Coast time. That's 4 to 6 p.m. Central time. We have a great show planned for you here today. We are going to be continuing to talk about solutions-oriented approaches in consciousness. And today we're going to be continuing to cover the solution of the non-support of dominators, those who uphold the dominator slavery system that we are living in, whether we recognize that or understand it or not. And today we're going to be getting into the occult side of things when it comes to the military and the police. And we are going to be talking about how dark occultists who ultimately own these organizations and own the people who are members of them, they own their minds, they own their actions ultimately, and therefore they own their body. We're going to be talking about how they ritualistically and symbolically mock these individuals for even helping them to carry out their evil agendas, how they loathe them infinitely more than they loathe the general population. So today on the show, the occult mockery of police and military personnel. And we're going to be going through tons of symbolism. This is probably going to take a few weeks to complete this. It's the first time I'm going to cover it in great depth on the show to help people to understand what the so-called elite, the powers that should not be, think of their minions who carry out their orders. How do they really consider these individuals? This is one topic that's going to take a couple of weeks at least, maybe 3 weeks or maybe more. Depends on how covering the presentation goes. And then I want to talk about carnism, or the practice of meat eating as a form of domination and as a significant factor in what is holding humanity back and keeping us really as a farmed species ourselves, due to the ignorance of the law of correspondence. So that's going to be coming up on a future show. I may do 2 shows on that as well. So no calls until that's completely over, and then we will do 2 entire call-in shows. I also want to let people know why I asked for callers from combat veterans who served in World War II and fought and saw actual combat in the European theater of operations, because no one called. It was a long shot anyway to see if someone would call who served in that capacity. No one took me up on the offer. The question that I wanted to ask them, I didn't really do any coverage of this year's Bilderberg group at all. People who listen to my show will know who the Bilderberg group is, their origins, what they're about, how they're globalists trying to usurp the sovereignty of every nation on the face of the earth and bring in a form of fascist/socialist dictatorship worldwide. And what I really wanted to ask a combat veteran who had fought against the spread of Nazism in World War II, specifically in the European theater, I wanted to ask them what they thought of a group that was begun by an avowed Nazi, Prince Bernhard of the Netherlands, who served in the SS, the Schutzstaffel, and also an avowed socialist who was instrumental in ushering in the United Nations, Joseph Rettinger. And what they think of police serving in the capacity of protecting a group that was begun by avowed socialists, National Socialist and otherwise, who have the stated goals and intentions of destroying the sovereignty of the United States and ultimately bringing its people into a one-world socialist dictatorship.